Look over here.
Oops, I clicked the wrong one. But that's okay. Welcome to The Cup, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. And you are watching...
Look over here.
I'm David Healy. I don't have a cute intro, but I do have a cute shirt. I am still wearing my Kennedy Davenport shirt. And look, this is her leg right here. That's her leg.
Oh my God, I thought it was a tail.
Nope, her
From the
leg is,
costume.
she's kicking up her leg
Oh.
because Kennedy can do that.
It's a kick.
Yes, exactly. But right now I'm just drinking some water. I'm not drinking it out of my cup mug, but I have one anyways, and you can have one too. We ship these internationally. I'm jumping the line there, but you can buy one of these at lanagcreations.etsy.com, and there are no excuses.
Hi, I'm River, your Brazilian correspondent here on The Cup. I am drinking some water out of my photo mug, and I'm excited to talk about these looks. So excited. This was... okay.
Yeah, I'm excited too, and I'm excited to see where we align and where we disagree,
and where we diverge, mainly.
because it's bound to happen. I'm like, even something that was said in the previous episode, I'm like, oh, okay, I think we disagree on something.
Okay.
But let's go ahead and before we dive into these looks, please do us a favor. Please subscribe to this channel. Please like this video. Please share this video with your friends, and please leave comments and tell us what looks you like and which ones you don't like, if any. You might like them all. But now let's go ahead and dive into it. The category was the iconic, which I was like, what does this mean? They all seemed really excited when it was announced in the workroom, but I'm like, that's vague. The iconic
the
what?
way this added to the already amount of confusion that I was feeling in this episode, I was like, the iconic what?
Right. Even the way
who?
the way she said it, she's like, and the category on the runway is the iconic. And they all start cheering. And I'm like, let her finish. Let her finish. Okay, continue. The iconic.
It sounded like there was something after it, but
Right.
the way that she said it sounded like it was something, but yeah. And I was waiting for it. I was waiting for the first person to turn around on that runway to be able to understand what this is.
I didn't get it in the first one. It took me till the second one. I'm like, okay, I think I know where this is going. But let's go ahead and jump into it. So first up, we had Zepee, and she was Madonna. So there are things I like about this a lot. I really like the wig and the hair. It's giving such a specific version of Madonna from the 80s. But I think she did a great job of transforming her face. She does that probably better than anybody else in the cast, other than Frankie, who uses prosthetics to do so. But she really knows how to be a chameleon with her makeup. So I thought she looked stunning in the face. My problem is the outfit, while it does give Madonna, it just didn't excite me. I'm like, okay, well, this is kind of small, kind of boring, and it looked almost like she was wearing jeans with some weird corset over it. So it wasn't appealing to my aesthetics, I guess. She's still really pretty in the face. So that's what I tried to focus on. It is like, I do like the cone bra. Like, that's when I think of iconic Madonna, like especially growing up in the era I did, that's what Madonna was known for, a cone bra. So I'm glad she did that. I just wish she had gotten a little more creative and a little more draggy with it.
Yeah, my biggest umbrage with this is the separation of the boobs. It's the placement of the breasts are not it's not in the correct spot on the human body. That it usually is. It can be. They come in every size and placement, but if you're trying to give a fantasy, to me it just really bothered me. That's couldn't unsee it. But one thing that I wish she would have done, because I noticed that she had pinstripe pants. If the pinstripes were rhinestoned, or something. Like something to just, because this is like an iconic look, and it's very difficult to do something inspired by this that is not a near recreation, right? How do you, it's hard. And the point of the runway, I think, was to emulate an icon. So it should be as close to the original as possible, I think. So my only thing is that I wish you would have elevated it a little bit more with just the details. Because she still looks great, and it is giving Madonna, right? Um, but yeah, I can't with the boobs. It's
Yeah, that's
yeah,
fair. And I did just Google like the original Madonna look just to see how it is. And it is like kind of spaced out far apart, but they're pointing more straight
forward.
forward than hers.
Yeah,
So like hers are just like spaced out apart and pointing like out to the edges. So
exactly.
I can definitely see that as a criticism.
It should either be, if it would be placed here, it should be facing forward, or if she wanted them to face outward, she should have put them a little bit closer together.
Mm. Scores.
76.
I gave her 66.
Okay.
Next, we have Gawdland as Marsha P. Johnson.
Immediately recognizable. I mean, for at least if you are a part of the LGBT community, it should be to you. And if it wasn't, this is an opportunity to learn about this person and to make her instantly recognizable to you from this day on. I was very happy with the choice that Gawdland made of Marsha and choosing to represent her. The headpiece is beautiful, incredible. Neck up, 10. The dress is a good recreation, and it looks nice. It is well made. I don't have many problems with it. I just wish it was a little bit more. I wish maybe because it was there's a slit, and then like more to her right side is where the fabric is with the little ruching on the side. I wish that part of the dress was a train. Not a huge train, but if it touched the floor just a little bit and dragged just a little bit on the floor, just to give that royal feeling and dragged up feeling. And then the sash. She could have done something to make the sash a little bit more elaborate, because this is very literal, and there's not really a problem with that, but for a Drag Race runway, I do want to see um a little bit of elevation from your inspiration, like your original inspirational look. But I still enjoy this. Like everyone on this runway did well.
Yeah, fair. I do think this was the most thoughtful choice that anybody had, so I appreciated that. She really went for a queer icon, and not in that, oh, I like this person's music or whatever. So I
You know,
really
like
respect.
truly iconic.
Yeah, yeah, I appreciate that. And nothing about how she presented it felt insensitive in any way. Which I mean, it could be a risk, but for me, this was a very classy, clean, simple representation of Marsha P. Johnson. And I really like the headpiece, as you were saying. That is the focal point. That's a highlight. I thought she looked stunning. Like it's everything from the head, the neck up, perfect, perfect. The makeup, so good. Like she really
Mhm.
knows how to paint her face. It really is just the dress. I don't hate it, but it's just a little simple for me. And like it's a pretty color, but I guess I wanted it to be like more draggy, you know? And even the ruffle parts, there's something about the texture or the fabric or whatever that I'm not crazy about. It's giving like tarp, and tarp is
It's
like more,
giving IKEA bag fabric.
I could see that. Yeah. So,
Just the ruching, right? Because the actual dress is a different fabric.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like that fabric. It's
Okay.
just, yeah, the ruching, the ruffles, that didn't quite work for me. But still, overall, she looks pretty. Like, I don't dislike this. It probably is one of my two least favorite looks, but it still has a decent score for me. So,
Mhm.
speaking of scores,
Solid 80.
okay, I gave it a 74.
Sensible.
Mhm. And next we have Spicy Sunshine paying homage to Kylie Minogue. So I thought this was a cute showgirl look. If you know me, you know my favorite color combination is blue and anything. So this is blue and silver. It really looks great together, those colors. So I really love like everything I'm seeing with the color blocking and like this, the focus on having silver boots with that blue kind of train behind, and the blue headpiece. All of that looks really good. It's hard to go wrong with a showgirl look, but sometimes like if I'm seeing a showgirl look, while it's almost always going to be some level of good, I want it to always be great. And we've seen some great showgirl looks over the years, and this is just kind of like it's good, you know? Like I wanted to be wowed by this. It's just a little small in areas and a little simple in areas too. She still looks good though. So like I know I don't really have deep critiques for this. It just left me wanting a little bit more from her. I still think it's one of her stronger looks, and despite me sounding critical, this is one of my favorite looks of this night.
I feel like maybe for you, what I got is that you thought it was a little not bad, but just underwhelming, maybe.
Mhm.
Right?
Yep.
Didn't
It's like
excite you,
it's
right?
Kahana Montrese's fault. Kahana Montrese made it hard for
Right.
anybody else who was going to do a showgirl look because I'm like, well, I
Mm,
know what you're capable of having with the showgirl look, and this wasn't it.
yeah. And then I'm also very critical when I see looks like this that resemble carnival because
Mm,
like when it comes to that, I'm used to and we're used to here to like other level, a
right.
different caliber, but it is not fair to compare that to. It's just it is difficult to me in that way to kind of appreciate more when we have looks like this, right? Um, but that being said, the choice of Kylie Minogue is iconic by itself. The that to me, I'm enjoying Spicy this season, but she won a very special place in my heart for that choice, honestly, to be honest. Um, but with that being said, would I choose this as my iconic Kylie look? No. Do I still like it? Yes. Is it an iconic look for Kylie? Yes. It is not like when I don't know about you, but when I think of Kylie Minogue, I just see her coming out of that disc. That's all I see in that life. Or like that's it. But that is a very simple look to like be inspired for a runway. So other than that, it would be the cowl, like the white cowl from Can't Get You Out of My Head. But that's also a little simple
I
for a
think of the
runway.
Green Fairy from Moulin Rouge.
Yeah, that as well. So like I like the choice of Kylie. I don't like the choice of uh this specific look from Kylie. But I still think it's very well done. She looks great. Um, it doesn't look cheap because it can look very cheap when you don't do it correctly. She looks expensive. I wish the feathers were a little fuller and just that it was a little bit more elevated, but it's still a very solid look. This was just a tough runway because everyone was good.
Mhm.
So,
Scores.
um, I'll give this an 80 as well.
Okay, I gave it an 82.
Okay.
Next, we have Gigi Ferocious with her Rihanna look.
Mm, mm, mm. The way I screamed. This this is the one from tonight for me. This is my top shelf. I know we do it for premieres. I'm just saying, this is my top shelf for this runway. Because here's the thing. It doesn't always necessarily need to be as close as possible to your inspiration, but this is a very difficult look to do something different than what it actually is, and like be inspired by it but not emulate it and make it basically a recreation. I don't see what else she could have done. Maybe make it shorter, but no. I don't remember if did Rihanna have the boa? I
I'm
truly don't
trying.
remember.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it right now. Like I see a close-up picture of it,
Mhm.
but I'm not seeing the full
This is
body.
such an iconic and instantly recognizable look to anyone that is into pop culture or fashion or both. Um, and it's not easy to emulate, and she did it perfectly. Because if it's not going to be the same dress that Rihanna had that was expensive, it needs to be the correct fabric that is going to look similar enough and give that same feeling. And also the way that she walks on the runway is just she she has my favorite runway walk presentation of this season. Period. So good. This to me was perfection. This boa, especially, I talked on a recap during the lip sync when she was like just playing with the boa, and so good. Mm.
Yeah, so there are a lot of good things about this. Like, first of all, she's a straight up model. She does know how to walk the runway, how to deliver a look. Um, and just like any model, like sometimes I'm like, I don't get it. Sometimes I do get it. For me, this is one that was interesting because the more I looked at it on stage, like throughout the critiques, she was the only person that I was changing the score, and it was not in her favor. Unfortunately, I was dropping the score as I looked at it because I do like the inspiration, and it's very striking as soon as it comes out, especially with that long do rag. I thought that was beautiful. The material's very pretty. It's for me like there are times where I'm like, okay, I know not everybody needs body on runway, but when you have a look specifically like this with this material and you're not padding or having any shape, it just made her seem so small and so slender. It left me wanting some shape there. And
But it would show with this fabric. She
that's
wouldn't. It
true.
would be so hard to hide it.
True. I, I
But
I
I get it
don't
though. I see what you're saying.
know. And even like the edges, I wish the edges like kind of popped more than they do. Um, and the one thing I will say, like I don't think I've brought this up at all this season. I think the way that Gigi paints can be pretty harsh. Like there's like such like dark lines around her eyes, her eyebrows, the dark makeup around her eyes. I just want to see her soften it a little bit. I think especially when you have um like a very tiny wig on, like it
Mhm.
really brings focus on that. Like there's not a huge wig to kind of make that seem smaller. So her makeup was just coming across a little harsh for me, but she still looks good. Like I like this. I wanted to like it more. I wish I was with you. I wish I could just like
I
completely
think it was
indulge in
just
it.
maybe because I didn't really pay that much attention to it during the rest of the runway when they would zoom in and all of that. I didn't really look at it closely.
Hmm.
But I see what you mean. But about her makeup, I feel like maybe it's because she's still painting for the stage,
Mm,
and it doesn't translate the same. Um, like the same the paint that you would paint for the stage is a different paint for camera and TV and all of that.
right.
So I feel like maybe that is the
Yeah.
case.
No, that's probably exactly what it is.
I just a guess. Who knows?
Mhm. Scores.
98.
I gave her a 78.
Well, we're gonna move on.
Yep. Next.
This is why I like doing the podcast with you, because you always gag me in a way.
Good.
somehow.
Next, we have Nane Sphera doing Madonna from Vogue this time.
Mhm.
I really like this. This was my favorite runway. Once again, Nane Sphera is my favorite runway. Surprise, surprise. But I really like the ship in the wig. I thought that was a really cool touch. There's so many details going on with that. And there's something about this fabric in her like overcoat that she has that was hypnotizing for me. I thought it was so pretty. Like it's one of those materials where like from different angles, like certain parts of it would change from black to gold and gold to black, and it was just like almost had this glittery effect as I was watching her walk down the stage. And then eventually she took it off. I didn't like the look as much underneath, but it still gave a very specific type of Madonna that I know. So I wasn't mad at it. She gave layers with this. But for me, it definitely looked best when she first came out. I thought she was stunning. Like this wig, the body, like the shape of this, everything was just right for me. Definitely my favorite look of the night.
Okay, fair, fair. I definitely agree with you about the wig. I'm obsessed with this wig. The ship is so cool. So cool. Um, I also agree that I didn't necessarily enjoy. I'm also not mad at the second look, but it didn't feel necessary to me. I do see how it makes sense for what she was trying to do with the presentation. I feel like it didn't add to the look aesthetically, but it added to the presentation on stage with having a progression from like one look to the other and being able to tell that story and how she presented it. So I'm not mad. Um, but definitely the first look that she had before, definitely better. Uh, it's not my favorite. I like it a lot. I don't like it as much as you do. Um, but this fabric is great. I think my favorite part is actually I forgot the name for this around the neck. This
The
part,
collar.
the collar. Thank you. Words are hard today. The collar is my favorite part of the garment.
Mhm.
But my favorite part of the whole look is the hair. I mean, that's the star.
Right.
But I don't feel like we don't have to worry about Nane on the runway. She's always gonna be at least solid good, bare
For
minimum.
sure. Scores.
84.
I gave her a 90. And last, we have Frankie Wonga doing
Mhm.
Karl Lagerfeld.
This was so auntie of her to do. This was such a cool choice. So weird. So I love Frankie and the way that her brain works, and I just would like to spend a little time exploring that if I could. Um, this is this is at the same time very realness, very much a recreation basically, but also camp and stupid. The cats on the cape in the back chilling, so stupid. This dumb bitch. I'm obsessed with this. Um, it wasn't my favorite just because the impact that I had when I saw Gigi come out was so strong. But this, close second. I'm obsessed with this and with Frankie. Mm.
Yeah, I agree with you. I really like how outside of the box Frankie always goes, like pretty much always. Because this is not something I expected to see. In its male drag, but it has a feminine lens too. So it really worked in that way. It's very polished also. And as fellow cat lovers, I definitely loved the touch of
Literally,
having,
she
yes,
just climbed here.
mine's gone somewhere.
I feel like maybe she felt called for this moment.
Yes, exactly. So and it would be easy for that to look tacky, but it didn't look tacky to me. It looked campy, and I don't
Mhm.
mind like a campy lens on this as well. So I really like this. This was a good solid touch here. And I keep doing the drag king looks. I like seeing those interspersed into the different franchises. So I was very
And
happy with
this
this.
is so stupid because it's like she took a very very fashion, like very, very fashion person in like the minimalistic fashion in the way that he styled himself.
Mhm.
Um and then made it so camp and over the top. Mm, mm.
Scores.
So of course. I'm just like, this made me excited. It's the last one. I'm excited. I gave it a 93.
Okay, I gave it an 83.
Seems correct for us.
Yep. Well, that's it for the looks. So those were fun to talk about, and hopefully you all had fun watching.
I have
And
a question for
yes,
you.
yes.
If you were to do this runway, which icon would you pick?
Oh man, you caught me off guard
Putting
here.
on the spot.
So so honestly, if I were to do something, I probably would also go with more of a male presenting figure. Like anytime we talk about Snatch Game, I always like tend to lean towards male characters just because the idea of dressing like as a woman, like that's never really appealed to me. So I'm trying to think like I think there's a way to do a really like campy dragged up Pee Wee Herman that could be fun. Like, he has a very iconic type of suit, and you could just make it more fashionable too. So that could be fun. And he's a gay icon for sure. How about you?
Right. I was thinking like I have multiple options. If I were to pick like the first thing that came to my head when I think pick an icon, Britney,
Okay,
period.
of
Britney Spears.
course.
But if I had like time to think and like research, I would probably come up with other stuff. Maybe Lee Bowery, maybe Bowie,
Okay.
right? I would
Freddie
like
Mercury
let
would
us
be a good
know,
one.
what would you do? You
Mhm.
watching. What icon
Yeah.
would you pick?
Yes.
So many.
Yeah, leave it in the comments. Let us know because I do like reading those comments. So while you're there in the comments, you should also like this video, share this video, and subscribe to our channel. And you can also find us on any podcast platforms in the link below in the description. You'll find it, and you'll also find links to our social media if you would like to follow us. And there's also a link to merch where you can buy various things such as cup mugs and there's lots of other things. Like I said, I just bought a shirt on there, so I'm excited for that to come. But with that said, we are going to get out of here. So cheers.
Cheers.